Hey, Damian, nice to meet you, man.
Hello.
Can you hear? Hello, are you listening me?
Hello. Yes, now I can hear you. I couldn't before, but now I can. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Yeah, I'm good too. Thank you. My name's Damian. It's Nicholas, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, Nicholas. Well, it's very nice to meet you. Why don't we start? You can tell me a little bit about you, like where you're from, why you're here, like why you want to practice your English, those kind of things.
Sure, of course. So, my name is Nicholas. I always had lived here. Uh, your call is lagging a little bit. I'm having a
Okay.
delay here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from Brazil. I always had lived
Okay.
here in Brazil. I'm from São Paulo. I live in the capital, and nowadays I work for a consulting company. We work with a
Mm-hmm.
lot of different ERP systems like SAP, Oracle, and for to be specific, I work with Oracle tool that is called EPM. It's Enterprise Performance Management, and it has a lot of different modules. So one of the modules I work with, it's called Financial Consolidation and Close. So we work with a lot of different clients, and
Mm-hmm.
now I'm finishing a project for a national client here from São Paulo as well. And
Okay.
during this project, we gather all of the client data to automate different kinds of reports, financial statements, to gather all inside of in only one environment. So
Okay.
inside this ERP environment, they can generate all of those reports that they will need. So it's a very long project, and sometimes it can take years, a, a lot of months. And
Yeah.
we're in the final phase of the project that is called UAT. So basically, we're just going to test this environment to see if everything inside the system is working correctly, is generating everything accordingly to the data that they have in the client database. And
Yeah.
we're like speaking every day with the client and
Mhm.
fixing any mistakes that they probably have. And uh, uh, during my work, I don't use English to talk with the client, but I have a lot of contact with, to all the documentation, all the tools that we work with. So if there is any doubt that we have about the tool, we have to search for documentation, everything in English. So I have a lot of contact with English during my day. But speaking with the
Yeah.
client, I we do not use English because there there are national clients. But
Yeah.
from the about other colleagues, they also work with international clients, not just English speakers,
Okay.
but also like Spanish speakers, Italian, German speakers. And I'm here in Cambly just, and to practice a little bit my English, to improve it, to correct any mistakes that I probably am doing. And that's a little bit about me. I got
Okay.
a very interesting profile because you said that you're also here in Brazil, right? In Rio de Janeiro.
I am, yes. Uh-huh, that's correct. Yes. Hmm?
That's cool. I have a
Did
lot
you
of
want to,
friends, a
yeah?
lot of colleagues. I'm sorry.
No, sorry, continue.
Okay. So I have a lot of colleagues from work and also from about personal friends that are from Rio as well. And I think when having a class with a different tutor than I'm
Mhm.
used to, it's much easier like to connect with a person that already lives here in a similar environment that I live in than from a tutor, a teacher
Uh-huh.
that is like from England but has never been here to Brazil. You know.
Mhm. Yeah, of course. I think that's true. Like I've lived in Brazil for a long time, so I know like some of the challenges that Brazilian people have. Number one, in learning a language like English,
Yes.
what kind of access to things you have, and that is very difficult for you to practice. But also like how important it is. You would think that so you're a guy who works with software. Surely you can work in
Mm-hmm.
software just using your own language. But no, like you said, like your company has some international clients. Yeah, you're not working with them, but a lot of the materials and things like that are in English.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it is good. And also, I know your language. So I
Yes.
think I can be really helpful in explaining the differences between them because there are big differences in the way that some words that we use.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, in English, we have two verbs where in Portuguese there's only one. And which
Mm-hmm.
one do you use in which situation? I think I'm quite good with this thing called present perfect that Brazilian people
Yes.
or Portuguese speakers find very hard because it doesn't exist in Portuguese and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it can be an advantage. And sure, like Rio, where I live. I've been to Sao Paulo, so maybe it gives you some conversation that you can have about the city or the country and
Yes,
things like
sure.
that. So I think it helps. So have you ever been to Rio?
No, not yet. I want to be there sometime, like to visit the Cristo Redentor, because it's
Mm-hmm.
a very beautiful city, and I see
Mm-hmm.
from everybody saying that it's a beautiful city, but it has the other aspect of the how may I say the risks um,
Mm-hmm.
about
Danger.
security.
It's
Yes,
dangerous,
yes,
they
about
say. Yeah, yeah.
security. You know,
Uh-huh.
so I heard a lot of rumors that that is very dangerous to
Mm-hmm.
not just to go to Rio for a trip or to take some holidays, or
Yeah.
but also to live in there. You live in there and like how may I say, stay in constant contact with the city. It can be dangerous, you
Uh-huh.
know.
Yeah.
And people say that it's more dangerous there than here in São Paulo.
So yeah, I don't know. So actually, for 3 years, my situation is quite strange because I live
Hmm.
in the capital, Rio de Janeiro. I
Yes.
my STEPI, my address. When you put it into like something online, it comes up Centro Rio de Janeiro. However, you probably know in Rio there is the Baía de Guanabara that
Yes.
separates like Rio from Niterói. In Baía de Guanabara, there's a small island, Ilha de Paquetá, and that's where I live now.
Hmm.
So here it's like super safe. There's no cars, no buses, no big
Wow.
buildings. It's just like a small island. So I
Wow,
don't have
really?
that day-to-day contact anymore with Rio. I go sometimes, like I've been this weekend on Saturday. I went and met some friends and went to the beach. I think in general, like the kind of things you would do in Sao Paulo, right, to make sure that you're safe, you would probably realize this is not the place to take out my iPhone, latest iPhone.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
that's
this
correct.
is
That's true.
probably I won't wear my Rolex watch if I go to the beach. If
Yes.
you do some general basic things to be safe, you're gonna be fine. Like I've lived in Brazil 13 years, 12, 11 and a
Wow, that's a
half
lot.
years in Rio. And one time, someone snatched my phone a long time ago. They snatched the phone and ran away. This
Mm-hmm.
has happened to me also in England. So, you know, it's not like the Wild West like people think. I think if you wanted
Yes.
to come here, have a nice vacation, visit the beach, visit Corcovado, Christ the
Mm-hmm.
Redeemer, go to Sugarloaf Mountain, go to a game Maracana, go to a samba, you're gonna be fine. You're not gonna have a problem.
Yes, that's good to know because we have this vision that Rio de Janeiro, like you said, it's the Wild West, you know, and
Uh-huh.
it's good to know this because I want to go there sometime, and knowing this can
Yeah.
bring some comfort to me, you know, and
I'm sure you're gonna have a great time. Like
yes.
there are places in Rio that you would say are very dangerous. But like I said, doing these things, you're not going to go there. You're not going to go to the north zone of Rio, where there's extreme poverty and things like this. Just like
Mm-hmm.
probably there's places in the periphery of Sao Paulo that you think I don't need to go there. It's the same.
Yes, of course. Yes, sure. Yes, that's true. Uh, so about here in São Paulo,
And you said it takes, it can, so one of these projects can, at the end of the project now, what?
it lagged your voice for me. Can you repeat the
Hello?
you asked me about the project, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, there seems to be the delay. Yeah, like you said, it can take a long time to complete one of these projects, and you're at the end of the project now. So, how long have you been working on this?
Your voice is cutting for me. I didn't hear the final phrase that you said.
I'm gonna try to refresh this class.
Okay,
Okay, 1 minute.
sure, no problem. Hello again.
Hello. Yeah, is that better?
I think yes, a little bit better. So you asked me about the project, about the length of it, right?
Yeah,
So can you repeat that, please?
yeah. So how long have you been? Yeah, how long have you been working on this project? Because you said you're at the end of the project, but that sometimes they take a long time. So how long has this one been?
Yes, it's been like since April, because when I got first in the company around February, I got put in a project, a different project that was already finishing it. So it was a little frustrating because
Okay.
I was still learning about the ERP systems that we use inside of the projects, a little bit more about the routine inside of it, and I didn't catch very well. So after like 2 to 3 months, more or less, I got put in a new project from the beginning. So then I was able to adapt to the routine of working with the team inside the project, and also about the contact with the ERP that we were going to build it, you know. And first of all, when a project begins, we have to understand all the the aspects of the company, the client we're working with. So about the companies that they have inside their structure, about minority companies. So if a company has other companies inside of it, and how much is the percentage that it aggregates in the consolidation process. Okay, so all of these details we have
Yep.
to understand it to start to actually build the system that they're going to use in the future. And after understanding all these prerequisites, we start to build it. So we build every form, every report. We build the structure that we understood that was the structure of the client, and we build everything inside of it. And after that, we finish building it. We start to test with the client. So like we stay like every day, all day long, in a call with the client and testing with them, like. Uh, Grab all of the forms about financial statements and go, oh, so this company here has a difference for this specific year during this period from January to June, and I don't know what's causing this difference. So then we have to understand and show if it's an internal process from the client that is doing incorrectly, or
Hmm.
it was a mistake of ours during
Okay.
the building of the application. So we take off the companies and we understand where the data is coming from, what is happening to the consolidation process, if the other companies are consolidating correctly. We understand all these aspects, and then we show to the client if it makes sense. If not, then it's internal process of them, and they have to analyze because, like some cases, they may are. Um, Posting a journal of adjustments in certain company, and it's affecting other companies in other periods. So we have to analyze all these cases until everything is like 100%, and
Yeah.
then after it's 100%, all the testing that we had to do with the client, it's over. Then we can just migrate this environment to production and make
Yeah.
the go live.
Okay. And is this the first time that you've worked on a project of this size? Because like I hope you don't mind me saying, but you seem like a pretty young guy. You don't look so old, like you have many years experience. And you said you entered
Yes.
the company in January. So is this your first time working on such a big project?
Yes, actually, it's my first time working.
Mhm. Okay.
So
That's good.
this is my first professional experience actually,
Hmm.
and is my first big project. Like
Yeah.
that I can say that I contributed 100% since the beginning to actually making the go live and helping the client in all of the process.
Yeah. And so, how have you enjoyed it? How's the experience of it been for you? Have you had a good experience? Have you learned a lot of things?
Yes, sure. It is very good because for me, I really like talking to people, to different people, and meet new people. So every day I was meeting new people from since from the project team we were working with inside our company, and about the client team, because we had to talk with a lot of people to understand all of the processes. So for me, it was very good because I had a lot of contact with different people and to learn new things, and also mainly learning new things with my superiors, people that are more experienced and with the tools that we're working, and asking for tips and advices, and like learning to so I can help more in the project. So
Yeah.
because I feel like just getting the guide and the manual from the tool is not as effective. Like really putting the practice, you're in the meeting room with the client and you have
Yeah.
to solve it, because
Mhm.
you're the client. You're by yourself, and you can't just like go and say, "Oh, I don't know."
Yeah. Uh-huh. So I don't know if this is something that they say in all of Brazil, or it's just something that people say in Rio de Janeiro, but it fits perfectly for what you said. Like, quem sabe faz ao vivo.
Yeah.
Like, there's a difference between doing at
Yes,
home on your own when no one, but when someone's watching is a
totally.
different thing. Uh-huh. So
Yes,
yeah. So when will this project? Because you said there's still some testing going on. There's still some work going on before you migrate and go live. So when do you expect that to happen? When do you like expect it to go live? And then do you guys have to stay on, but in like a lesser role? Like, do you still have to monitor their systems for a period, like 3 months or 6 months, just in case there's any
mhm.
more problems?
Yes, sure. So I really don't know when it's expected to end the project finish
Mm-hmm.
100%, because there are also changes that it doesn't depend all on me, and they are in the hands of my superiors that are
Yep.
working with the client. So, but I can say that all of my part is finished. All of the contribution I had to contribute, it's over.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, and about the system, yes, we have the access, because after the project is over, we make the go live. We actually had to help the client also to test this to how generate the reports if they're having any kinds of difficulties, is because it will be a new tool that they will work during their day in the job. So as it's going to be a
Yep.
new a whole new tool, a whole new process to them working with, we have to help them in the first steps of like migrating all their process from like working only with spreadsheets on Excel to do the whole close process, the consolidation process about the
Yep.
companies to this new system and working inside of it.
Mm-hmm.
So we actually help them for a bit, and after that, this
Yep.
support, as I may say, then the project is completely over, and then we can start to search for new projects.
Perfect. So I was going to say, do you have a new project in line, like in the future? Have you got any idea what the next project is going to be?
Yes, I have a an idea, because
Mm-hmm.
how may I say? Mm, uh, I'm thinking about the word. My manager, who manages all the
Yep.
projects that the company is looking for,
Uh-huh.
they talk to me like, oh, we might have this project that involves financial consolidation and close processes,
Mm-hmm.
and then we want you to act on it. And so after your project that you're working with now it's over, start to study about this topic, about this subject, because we're probably going to need it in this new project, and you're gonna work inside this new project. So it's basically a lot of projects inside a year, and depends on the duration of each one you
Sorry,
know
Nicholas, your video was frozen then for a second. But yeah, so I got what you said though. They're saying they're telling you maybe it's going to be this project, maybe it's going to be that project. How about you
Yes.
as a professional, right? So you said you joined this company in January. It's your first job,
Hmm.
so you've entered the work market. You've worked on and nearly completed very big project. You seem happy with the results of that. So, what um, what are your challenges for next year? What do you want to do for your career and for you in the next 12 months?
Yes. That's a good question. I didn't really thought about this, but I have some plans in mind, like traveling abroad, Brazil, and have some new opportunities. Even it is for work opportunities or like a personal vacation to meet a new country because I have never been abroad. So I would really like to go visit
Okay.
another country. Mainly it's an English speaking country, because I already have some familiarity with the languages, so I can practice more.
Yeah. So USA, England, Ireland, Australia. Like, do you have a
Sure.
preference about that? Uh-huh.
No, I was thinking somewhere near Europe, like going to the UK, maybe Ireland or Scotland. Any of the three countries would be perfect for me because it would be a great opportunity, like to meet a new country and a new culture, make new connections with people, and
Yep.
just have a different experience.
Of course. Well,
So I think,
you can probably guess that I'm the kind of person who likes to travel, right? Because I decided to live in a different country, and things like
yes,
that. And I would say to you, like think about it. So I always think it's important. Some people really love their job. Okay, it's important to like your job, but why do you work? I think you work to give yourself opportunities in life, right?
yeah,
So
sure,
travel is one of them. My advice to anyone, as somebody who has traveled, would be travel as much as you can to as many places as you can and experience things that you wouldn't experience in your own country.
sure. That, that's true. I had this dream, like visiting many countries as I can, because as I said, I have never been abroad, and I'm eager, like to have this opportunity, like to meet different countries, because I'm like so used to the routine here inside Brazil. It's kind of boring.
Mm-hmm. I get that, but what I would also say is remember, Brazil is a very big country. So there's lots of different places that you can go here as
Yes,
well. So to do that,
sure.
and maybe who knows, you have the greatest reason ever. Carnival is coming. Maybe that should be your time to come to Rio de Janeiro and see it at that very special time of year. I think you would enjoy it.
Sure. Yeah, it's a great opportunity. I'm thinking about that, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
Nicholas, well,
Maybe,
it was great to meet you today. I'm sorry we had some
sure.
problem with the connection. I'm not sure
No, no
why,
problem. Sure.
but you're doing a great job with your English. Very easy
Thank
to
you.
talk to you. Lots of different subjects, very small mistakes, some of them, but nothing serious.